Hello, all you positive heads out there. It is so good to be back with all you beautiful reflections of the one source consciousness that creates and animates all things. If you're new to this podcast, of course, we are super happy to have you here, and we just ask that you bring an open heart and open mind to your listening experience and to be prepared to explore vantage points that I'm convinced will help shift or solidify your current understanding of the ultimate nature of reality in a way that is extremely empowering. Speaking of exploring powerful perspectives, I'm super excited to announce that on January 18th, originally January 5th, but I needed to push it back a bit, I'm going to be freely gifting each of you my very first book, The Golden Key: Modern Alchemy to Unlock Infinite Abundance. In the book, which was initially shown to me in a dream and has been followed by a next level amount of synchronicity, by the way, I share the keys to manifesting abundance that I've personally discovered over 20 plus years of trial, error, and deep exploration of these perspectives, as well as one golden key that ultimately ties them all together. Also, I would like to invite you to participate in a unique abundance manifestation game with me and the other readers that is outlined in detail at the end of the book and at the book's website, goldenkey.gift, where readers will also share the inspiring results of their abundance manifestation experiments. So if you're wanting 2021 to be the year that you alchemize the circumstances in your life so that your abundance expands to an entirely new level, head over to goldenkey.gift to sign up to accept my golden gift to you right when it comes out.
All right, all you positive heads, welcome. Welcome one and all. I am so grateful you have joined Samantha and I today. And we are getting together today and we are just going to talk about what's coming up for us because that always winds up being a really fun flowing show. And so here we are. Hi, Samantha.
Hi, Erica. Hello, all you wonderful positive heads. Super excited to be here.
I'm really excited. I feel like I don't know what's happening with my concept of time lately, but I feel like it's been a while since we've talked. So, and I'm pretty sure it's only been a week, but it feels longer to me.
I miss you too, Erica. I miss you every day.
You're so cute, Samantha. So, you guys, I just came back from like the most ridiculously amazing trip with like this coven of beautiful light workers and energy workers, and I'm just riding this ridiculous high. Like I feel like I'm just buzzing and full of energy, and I'm also not quite like here in this reality. I feel like, I'm just I don't know how to explain it, but so it's been fun for sure.
That's something I notice when I'm around really high vibe, intentional, aligned people. We kind of create this alternate reality together.
Oh
And
yeah.
we're like soul storming and brain sessioning and like creating this vortex. And then
Yes.
when we depart from the vortex and go back to quote unquote regular reality, we're kind of just like, what? Where am I? What is life? What is real? What is not? And it's
Yes.
it's like a shattering of, and a reverberation into a different type of reality.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's so funny, I love this because this topic came up this weekend that how we're all so intuitive. And you just brought up something there because you're so intuitive of the vortex that is created. And there were times where we just we just got in a circle, like not on purpose. We just found ourselves in a circle and we would recognize what we were doing and we would immediately just go into a ceremony of sorts. And
Mm.
it was very intense and the vortex of energy that was created. And what I love about doing this with your family and your tribe is you create this energy and then you bring it back home with you. And then
Mm.
you get to share that energy back at your grid points. It's like, oh, it feels so good. It's like this big brightness that then gets to shine all over the place when you go back home. Yeah.
I love that. Something that I realized, my partner is very new to this world, and when I would tell him about a cacao ceremony and sharing circles and ceremonies and our rituals, he he said to me, he's like, "Sam, are you in a cult?" Because like, what kind of ceremonies or rituals? He's like satanic ones? Like, are they like dark
Oh
magic?
dear.
What do you do? And I realized that to oh, I was about to say muggles.
Oh.
to to people who are not so introduced to the conscious communities or the spiritual world, they actually don't know what ceremony is. And
Yeah.
so for anyone who might be listening in for the first time, let's just share a little bit. What do we mean by ceremony?
Oh, wow. Ceremony can mean so many things. To me, it means all coming together to create a sacred space where we all have a collective intention and we sit in this group intention together and we just feel in and give out this energy. And it's so beautiful. It's so supportive. And and really like the ceremonies that we did, one of them was like I said, we were standing in a stone circle and at an earlier ceremony, each one of us had gotten a symbol in our minds, but there was one person who didn't get her symbol. And she was the one who happened to be standing in the middle of this circle. And so it just made sense that we all stood there in support of her with that intention for her to get her symbol. And as we did that, the whoosh of love in this sacred container was so intense. And of course, she got her symbol, right? And so that's just an example of ceremony. Yeah.
Yeah, the way that I see ceremony is the same thing. It is, people coming together with a shared intention to connect, to dive deep into themselves, to dive deep into each other, to have some kind of experience or transformation. One of my favorite ceremonies is our cacao ceremonies. I
Yeah.
love, and it's very similar to having a barbecue or sitting around a fire.
Mhm.
It's a bunch of people sitting in a circle, drinking cacao, which is medicinal hot chocolate, essentially, made with intention and with reverence. And you can sit together, you can share about what you're going through, about your intention, what you're calling in. Maybe you'll sing some songs together, some call and response. And it's
Mhm.
just a really beautiful way to come together in a way that replaces kind of like coming together to just get drunk, or coming
Right.
together, at a nightclub, or in some kind of way where there's not an intention. But this is a really coherent, cohesive space that has a very strong intention. That's the way
Mhm.
that I see ceremony.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's really all about the intention. And that's why ceremony can be anything. You know, it really can be sitting in a circle with all of your girlfriends telling stories and laughing. That is a ceremony. It really is. And yeah, and it can be, as like light-hearted or as intense as you want it to be, Like in a lot of our ceremonies over the weekend, so many of the women that I'm with speak light language, and so a lot of a lot of times that came out. And of course, we had one of the girls just bought a singing bowl that just happened to come in on the day we all arrived. And so we had that at the beach, and we wound up doing ceremony with the bowl and the ocean. And of course, in Florida, we were near the whole like Bermuda Triangle, like ancient Crystal City. And so it was interesting to even feel into that energy there. Um, so
Mm.
yeah, yeah. The things that come up too when you're in a group like this, you get so much more connected and then activated by those other energies. Like it's all within you, but just to be there in that group collective, it's like it sparks that ignition within you because it's all within you. Right. And so I feel after this weekend too, like super activated and even more intuitive and psychic than I was before. And it's all because of
Mm.
this group collective. Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah, yeah. To really sum that up, I feel like I was just thinking like, well, what makes it a ceremony as opposed to some other thing? And a ceremony really, I feel, is there's a specific intention, there's a container
Mhm.
that's set, there's a start,
Yep.
there's a middle, which is some kind of, transformation or experience, and then an ending. And it can be anything like full moon ceremonies, new moon
Yep.
ceremonies, menstrual cycle ceremonies, they can be whatever. And then they always have, or they often have, some kind of effect on you, something that shifts with you. And like Erica just
Hmm.
said, she came out feeling more psychic. So I'd love, tell us about that, Erica. What have you been experiencing?
Oh, wow. Okay. So again, the group that I'm with, we're all practitioners, right? We all do hypnosis, and um, so there was three of us that were staying together, and we decided each day to put each other out, just to real quickly, put the other one into trance and talk to the higher self. And luckily, all three of us, we go out real easy. It takes about 5 minutes to put us into that state of higher self connection, and that's also part of, I think, being together, that it's so easy, you know? Um, and so when I go into that level of trance, there is this energy that comes in, and it's this intense vibration. And it almost feels like it's very hard to describe, but the only way I can describe it, it's kind of like taking a bow on a guitar or a violin string and, pulling down on it and striking it. My whole body feels like that string that just got, strung with the bow. And it's so intense that I lay there and I can barely even speak through it. Right. And so that having that energy sit within me is so activating. And also, it's like solidifying that bridge between my conscious and subconscious mind so that even in waking state now, it's stronger. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
Yeah, that's really cool. So how's that showing up for you, like in the day to day?
Oh, right. Okay. So, for example, just even directly right after that happened, the three of us were in the car going to lunch to pick up some of the other ladies. And one of them was asking a question about something in her personal life. And I just said, "Oh, this is why, and for this reason, and because of this." And she was like, "Oh, you're still in your channel. That sounds exactly right." And when we put her into her trance the following day, they gave her the same exact message. They said, "Yeah, that's exactly why." And then the following day, we were going to another get together, and we had to lay back like 10 minutes. We weren't supposed to get there. We had to get there right on time. And I said, "No, we don't need to lay back. We're going to get stuck at a light for about 10 minutes and that'll be perfect." And they kind of looked at me like, "Okay, what happened?" We wound up at a light for 10 minutes because the drawbridge came up. And we sat there for 10 minutes. So it's little things like that. It's just like, "Oh, this. Oh, yeah, that," you know? So,
Yes, I definitely know. I definitely feel those things. I experience those things. My grandmother, my mom, and myself are quite psychic, and I feel the more and more I've intended to tap into it, I'm really tapping into it. I feel like for me, it comes through less just about what's happening around, but more through people. Like I can read exactly how they're feeling, or what they're about to say, or what they're thinking, or what would work best for them. And I don't think about it. I don't intend to do this, but oftentimes something will just flow through me, and I'll find myself saying it, and then they'll exclaim, "Sam, like how did you know that I was thinking that?" Or like, "How did you know that I had this doctor's appointment?" Or like, How could you have, like, how I didn't tell you that, you know?" And
mhm.
it's really beautiful when you're noticing, and then you're asking, "Hey, I want to be more open to this. Like, let me allow myself to open up even further to these gifts."
Absolutely, and you hit the nail on the head there. That's exactly how it works. You allow it to flow through you. It's like you listen and just let it come out. It's like you're thinking out loud. It's not even you talking. You're just letting it come through you. And the more you listen to it, the easier it is to listen to it. And the more you allow it to flow because you get more and more confirmation that, like, "Oh, yeah, okay, this is right. This feels good. This is the right way to go." And this is another big thing that came up this weekend was just being in the flow. Really, that's all we all need to do. We had all these plans, we had agendas, and none of it worked out exactly the way that we had it on the schedule. But somehow we did all of it, but just not at that time or at that place because we just went in the flow and it worked out to be perfect. And I feel like we're all being really called to just settle down, slow down, go with the flow, just trust and listen, you know? It
Mm.
really can be so, so easy if we just go with the flow. Yeah, that's a big one that came through. Go with the flow. And also, we've talked about this before, but following the fun. It's so important right now that we just have fun. So important. It's like one of
Yeah.
the biggest things our higher self wants us to do. Just follow the fun, just have fun and go with it. Yeah.
Absolutely. And fun is something that you really get to choose and commit to, right? It's
Yeah.
not something that it is something you need to seek. And especially when you're, stuck in your house for months on end and there's a
Mhm.
global pandemic and all the blah, 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 and the depression and the this and the that. And there's a million excuses why you can't have fun, why
Mhm.
you have to get more work done, why you have to be serious, why you need to hunker down. And in order to really get things done and hunker down and be successful or whatever, you need that balance of fun. Your brain needs it, your hormones need it, your nervous system needs it, your inner child definitely needs it. And so even if you have to schedule in fun time, right? If you're like super in your masculine and you have to schedule in an hour of just fun playtime, do it because it will change your life. It will absolutely change the game. It is what we as human beings absolutely need.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause laughter really is the best medicine, you know? And, fun. Even if you're stuck in your house, put on some music and dance around. Act stupid, be silly, play a game, listen to some comedy. Just get it in. You can do it even if you're stuck in your house. There's so many ways to have fun.
Yeah, there really is. And that's something that my partner and I very much emphasize. We are constantly playing. We're like little kids that just roll around and like laugh and giggle and be silly and just like we really nurture our inner child with one another. And yeah, it's just been the most magical, wonderful gift, truly, in times of change. I went through a hard time this year. My grandmother passed away. I moved. All of this stuff has happened. And to just have those breaks, just the lighthearted, just silliness, it truly is that deep, potent medicine that I feel like all of us are really craving right now.
It's really true, and it's also what our inner being wants. It's what our higher self is, like, begging us to do. They really want us to live. There was, a woman who was with us in our group, and she's going through some really hard family stuff right now, and this was the message that came through her. They were like, "Yeah, it's okay for you to have fun. We want you to have fun. You're not gonna be helping anyone if you just stay stuck and focused on that, you know? You need to take care of you, have your fun, and then take care of them. There needs to be this nice balance, but you can't just focus solely on that and get into that, right? You gotta take care of you. It's
Yeah.
so, so important.
So many people make fun be conditional or like this reward. Well, once I work, work, work and achieve six figures, then I'll let
Mm,
myself have fun. Well, once
mhm.
I figure this out, then I can have fun. Well, no, I haven't gotten this far in this thing yet, blah, blah, blah. So then I can't have fun. And it's like this guilt that they put on
Yeah,
themselves. And I understand it when you constantly feel like you're behind and you constantly have anxiety and you constantly feel like you're drowning. It's so hard. It can be so hard to have fun. However, that is the exact antidote to the depression and to the anxiety
right.
and to this chronic state of sympathetic nervous system. But it's backwards, right? People think, well, if I go have fun, it's taking away from my work, and then I'll feel even more behind. But
Mhm.
no, when you just relax and let go and change your vibration and your state, you are way more able to go back to your work and be more productive and more focused and more aligned and have creativity flow through you.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. That is what will make you more productive. It's like I'm the kind of person that I need to have a whole lot of things to do in order for me to get a whole lot of things done. If I, you know, the like I'm if I'm busier, then I get more done because I always have fun, right? I always take that time for myself, but it's just like it does flow and I am more productive, right? It's not too much. I don't know if that makes sense what I just said, but
Oh
that's
yeah.
how it works for me. Yeah.
Same. If I have one thing I have to do, well, then there's no pressure. I'm like, okay, well, there's just this one
Right.
thing. So I'm going to do this other thing and then these other things, go for a nap, take a little trip, do all these things. And then it maybe gets done. But when we have a container and a little bit of pressure on ourselves, like, okay, I have 12 things on my to-do list today. I'm going to efficiently maximize my time, structure it, schedule it in, and just bang it out one by one by one. And then they get done because you know that there's these things that need to get done, and you have this confine or container, and that actually pushes you to be more productive.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and I love this. Back to the container. My girlfriend and I were having this conversation yesterday, and she was talking about like group exercise, even. And she was in like a spin class, and the teacher wanted them to all literally cycle at the same time. And at first, she was like, I want to do my own thing. I don't want to be told what to do here and how to do this. But she's like, but as we all did it together in the same motion, it created this momentum, that we were all doing together. And the energy was even more so, and it was easier to do. Right.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, so I think a big part of this is the message that's trying to come through today is this group collective, our group collective intention in this knowing that we can do anything we want and it's completely our choice and it's based on our focus. We can see the fun, we can see the love, the gratitude in all of it, right? And we can collectively do this. And I just see when we're doing this how bright and bright and bright it becomes, and brighter and brighter because we're all doing this together and we're creating this momentum and holding this container for one another.
Yeah, and you see this everywhere. Even like thinking about a concert. If one person puts up a
Yeah.
lighter, or well, that's outdated. One
Mm.
person puts up their iPhone. You
With
barely
a
see
lighter
it,
on
but
it though now. There's an
that's
app,
it.
right?
Yes. Oh, yes. And then when 100 or 1,000 or 10,000, then it's so bright, right?
Yeah.
And we just think of that, the power of duplication, the power of
Mm.
multiplication. uh, it's just amazing when people come together for a common goal, like meditation. They say worldwide
Mhm.
meditation, it absolutely increases the vibration and the frequency of the planet, and the healing that can happen from multiple people all around the world coming together to do the same thing.
Mm. I love that analogy that you saw in your head with all those lighters because that really put such a beautiful picture to it. And that lighter that we're all holding is that spark in our heart center. Like that's who we are, this infinite fractal of source, right? And it's intensely bright. And wow, like letting it shine. And we let it shine by having fun and loving ourselves and loving one another and loving life to the extent that we really can every day, right? Reminding
Mm.
ourselves to do so. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So even if you just take the time once or twice or three times a day to do something that's fun, that could be sitting down. My partner and I play Boggle. We play Boggle
Love
like
it.
2 or 3
Yeah.
rounds, every few days. We'll play some Boggle. Then we'll do some cooking, or I'll go out and gardening, or we'll dance around. And there are distinctly, probably at least 8 or 10 times a day where I take these little micro breaks to do
Mhm.
something that makes me smile, that makes me laugh, that feels good. And I feel like that really is why I'm the happy, healthy, super bubbly person that I am, because I
Yeah.
prioritize the things that make me feel that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because if you weren't doing that, how could you possibly be happy? Because we do create our own happiness. Like that little meme that I'm sure everyone has seen with the little stick figure holding his little jar of happiness, you know? And the guy comes up, he's like, "Hey, where'd you get that?" And he goes, "I created it myself." Duh, right? Like, of course I did. I make this. Yeah, we create it for ourselves. And yeah, doing those little things every day. I'm lucky. I feel like I have a 2.5-year-old. And so it's like impossible for me not to have fun. This little joyful little angel being is constantly laughing and having fun. And so it's like, yeah, I'm very, very lucky. So yeah, if you have any kids in your life, like that's an easy way to have fun. Go play with some
Mm.
children.
Yeah, good call. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go do that. I need to
Yeah.
go find a child. Just walk. I
No,
used to,
Samantha, don't be creepy.
No, but I used to, and people loved it. Back pre-COVID, PC, back in the PC days, I would just go up to little kids and play with them, and then give them high fives, and even pick them up, if their parents said yes, and they
Yeah.
love that. And now it's
Mhm.
a little more sketchy, but I miss playing with random children.
Yeah.
I
Kids are so
do.
much fun. They're so full of life, and they don't have all of this stuff that we've built up as adults to block ourselves from our greatness. They're just shining theirs, and they're such little treasures and such ways to learn how to be. They are greatest teachers, children. We can learn so much from them. Be like a
Yeah,
child. Yeah.
yeah. Tap into your inner self. Do a ceremony. Have some fun, and
Mhm.
take your laughter medicine.
Love it. Love it. Oh, this was great, Samantha. Thank you so much for joining me. We're going to play a song for you guys today. This is Ayla Nario, Beacon. Until next time, we love you all.
We love you.
Also, before we cue up today's song, I wanted to remind you about the game with the universe on our website, where you can choose the first number that comes to your mind and it'll pull up that episode number of the podcast. I've been saying this is a great way to co-create synchronicity and magic with your higher self for quite some time. And if you go to positivehead.com/universe, there is a super fun and simple interface to play this game with your higher self. I firmly believe just by setting the intention to play in this way, it opens up the door for magic, and it's a synchronistic way to hone in on nuggets of wisdom out of the huge catalog of episodes that are specifically appropriate for you at this time in your journey to becoming the next greatest and greatest version of yourself. And it also makes for a super fun way to spark the curiosity of friends and family by having them choose a number, so they'll hopefully go and check out their number as well, which I greatly appreciate because it helps us to spread the word about the podcast. Once again, the address is positivehead.com/universe. And as a quick reminder, if you're curious to learn more about Purium superfoods and why I take them almost every day, be sure to also check out positivehead.com/transformation. On this journey of becoming the next greatest and grandest version of ourselves that we have all embarked upon, I cannot stress the importance of managing your physical vibration enough. And quite honestly, Purium has put together the simplest plan I've found to do so. I have my favorite, the appleberry shake, at least 5 times a week. Once again, to learn more about the Purium transformation, go to positivehead.com/transformation. Or if you want to keep it simple and just try out my favorite, the appleberry shake, you can go straight over to ishoppurium.com and be sure to use code positivehead for 25% off. I'll spell that for you. It's ishoppurium.com. And be sure to use your Positive Head 25% coupon code.
Say what you will, the great turning has come. We the shining forest, to the darkness belong. To the darkness bring beacons, rooted deep, standing strong. We the shining forest, to the darkness bring song. Ooh.